Why would Ukraine's President Zelensky not welcome the UN Secretary General to Kyiv? With Ukraine's international alliance in the spotlight, there's more behind the scenes than meets the eye. I'm Dr. K. I'm a political scientist who looks at how information is shared, and that also includes what we can learn from diplomatic interactions and how they're covered in the news. Ukraine's Zelensky has benefited from high-profile visits, and international organizations are important to Ukraine. They want to join NATO and the EU, and they've been a member of the UN since its founding. But it looks like Ukraine is upset because Guterres is coming off a trip from Russia where he met with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Critics outside of Ukraine see Guterres' visits to Kazan for the BRICS meeting as problematic too. Putin is wanted on an arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court on charges relating to the alleged illegal deportation of Ukrainian children to Russia. Guterres did use the time in Kazan to speak directly to BRICS leaders, including Putin, on October 24th, saying the world needed peace in Gaza, Lebanon, Ukraine, and Sudan. If Guterres had any message to bring to Zelensky from the meeting, he won't, because Zelensky has not confirmed the visit to Ukraine. When the United Nations Secretary General visits a country, especially in a conflict zone, a detailed protocol is followed. His office initiates communication with the host country to discuss the purpose of the visit. This could be peace-building efforts or high-level discussions, but he still needs to have the visit approved. Without approval, the UN Secretary General can't visit in his capacity as the UN Secretary General. So why won't Zelensky confirm the visit? This wouldn't be the first time Zelensky has not rolled out the red carpet. Back in April 2020, Volodymyr Zelensky controversially disinvited German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier from visiting Kyiv just before Steinmeier's scheduled arrival. This was viewed as a diplomatic snub and came from long-standing criticisms of Steinmeier's past support for Germany's ties with Russia, including projects like Nord Stream 2. This incident led to tension between Ukraine and Germany, prompting German Chancellor Olaf Scholz to delay his own visit to Ukraine, citing the diplomatic friction as a barrier. And since 2022, the Ukrainian president has calculated the impact of his meetings with state leaders, trying to get as much as possible from them. His first trip outside of Ukraine was to the US. And at home in Kyiv, he's engaged with visiting leaders based on their support for Ukraine, being pretty selective about meeting with certain leaders who have not condemned Russia's actions, or who have stayed neutral, or are considered to be less supportive of Ukraine. Guterres attended the BRICS meeting after he declined Ukraine's invitation to a peace summit on the war in Switzerland earlier this year. And BRICS, the group was formed to create a platform for emerging economies to discuss and coordinate their views on global economic issues. It was to provide a counterweight to the Western-dominated institutions of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. In 2024, the organization expanded to include Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. This is also a group that is entirely made up of countries that either support Russia or have abstained from condemning Russia's actions. So what should we be watching for? In the West, politicians have leveraged visits to Ukraine for domestic benefits, but leaders from other countries don't view Russia's invasion of Ukraine the same way. And Guterres' visit may be an acknowledgement of those different viewpoints, trying to build consensus in an increasingly fragile global environment. But if you really want to understand how events are covered differently in the world, this is a great topic to see those differing viewpoints. Google this story check out Ukraine's Kyiv Post and Kyiv Independent, the UK's Guardian, and then check out the Times of India and the Hindu and South Africa's News 24 and Mail and Guardian. And you'll see that this story about Guterres's not visiting Kyiv will be framed differently. And this will help you understand how the issue is also seen from different viewpoints, and that the UN Secretary General has a very fine line to walk. I cover news from all over the world and give more context to the stories, but that also means I don't fit into a clear category. So if you want to keep finding me, you're going to have to follow me. I'm Dr. K.